Well, hey there, friends. It's Morgan, mom of 4 kids, ages 10 all the way to 15 months. And if you would like to do any cleaning or decluttering today, they say the best way to do it is with a friend. So feel free to just play this in the background and do a little cleaning or laundry folding with me. For me, I've had a cold the last few days and I've been feeling super yucky. And so I normally reset my house on Mondays, but today was reset day. So I'm gonna show you all how I decluttered my daughter's room. If you watched our house tour video, you could see it was a mess, and it was a lot worse after Christmas and all their toys had come in. So we're gonna go through some of the tips and strategies that I use to attack a big mess when you just feel overwhelmed and don't know where to start. Tip number 1 is to get your kids involved so that they understand that the mess is big and it's stressful. Now, I don't involve my kids through every step of the process. There's some parts where I kind of sneak some stuff out when I'm reducing the inventory. And the thing is, our kids, they're overwhelmed with stuff and they don't need it to be creative. In fact, the more toys I've taken away from my kids, the better they play with each other, the less they fight, and the more creative they get. So it's better for us to reduce their overall inventory. So I bring them up to the mess and I get them involved. So one of the first ways I like to get my children involved is by teaching them to group things. So I've been doing this Marie Kondo method since I was a little kid, where you basically pile all of what you have into one space. So when my kids' room is really a mess and there's just stuff everywhere, my goal is to get all of their toys, all of their inventory into one big pile in the center of the room. So you may think, well, our room's already in piles, Morgan. It's everywhere, it's spread out. I like to have one central pile, and I try and, declutter down that pile to just toys or books or the things we're looking at. And so that gives me a starting point. If there's things in the pile or around the room that don't belong in the pile, then I have my kids start removing those. So in the video, you'll see me telling my daughters to grab clothes out of the floor. They had some dirty clothes mixed in with their toys. I said, those don't belong in the pile. Let's get those in the dirty clothes. And then the next category I had them kind of removing was trash. So I always bring a trash bag upstairs, and no matter how often I do this cleaning, our kids, they just are gonna bring little pieces of trash. There's wrappers, or there's, there was a broken hanger in this pile. There was little beads left over from Christmas, and there was, some other, Band-Aid wrappers. I mean, just all kinds of stuff makes its way into their room. So to truly declutter, I need to get those things out of there. And those are the easiest things to start with. Just pull out your dirty clothes, get those in a hamper, and pull out the trash, and have all of that right there with you. A hamper, trash bag, so you're not leaving the room and trying to go take stuff elsewhere. Another thing that I like to do is have a bucket or a bag of things that don't belong in the room but somehow made its way up there. So about partway through this cleaning time, I found a muffin tin from my kitchen. My son likes to use it. It's a silicone one that kind of looks like a popper. And so he kind of takes it from my cabinets, and it made its way up to their room, but that belonged in the kitchen. So I make a pile of things that need to leave the room. They don't belong in there. And I wait to take those elsewhere later. You don't want to interrupt your flow and your momentum, because that is one of your best strategies to move forward, is to keep moving. Because believe it or not, we get decision fatigue and we get overwhelmed, and just even seeing a mess like this can be visually overwhelming. So once we've kind of got all the things that don't belong out of the pile, dirty clothes, trash, stuff that goes in another room, then we truly see what our inventory is. I love another YouTuber called The Minimal Mom. She convinced me years ago that we're not lazy, we're not bad wives or moms, we're not unable to keep up with our houses. It's that we simply have too much inventory or stuff to manage. And if we were working at a business and the business just kept bringing in more and more and more stuff, we would have a hard time keeping track of it on the charts and knowing what was coming in and going out. And we have to do the same thing in our homes. We have to reduce the inventory, the stuff that we are managing day to day. And even with my children, I look at their toys and I'm like, oh, I spent money on that. That's a great toy. Or, oh, they've played with this a few times. But I have to look at the whole pile and think, can they manage this amount of inventory? And if the answer is no, if it's too overwhelming and they haven't been able to keep it picked up and it's just a massive mess, then I need to reduce that inventory. So I keep a little bag kind of in this video. The girls got distracted playing with the boxes halfway through. I was fine with that because what I did is I kept a little Aldi's bag tucked around the bunk bed, and I was just popping things in it that I realized maybe they hadn't played with in a while or that took up a lot of space, and I was just reducing their inventory. And that bag is a time will tell bag. This room right now and all of the little things in the floor, there are like hundreds of little pieces here from new Barbie sets that they got for Christmas. There is all kinds of inventory that came in over the holidays. So I want to reduce this as much as possible for them. So right now I am narrowing down the core toys that they got for the holidays that they've been playing with consistently, plus their old favorites. And then I am also eliminating right away the ones that I think can just go. I have had a trash bag next to me the whole time, and any tiny pieces, let me give you an example of some things in my trash bag. So like this was a toy they played with for a little bit on a road trip, and it's still perfectly fine, but it is extra tiny pieces inventory that I don't want to manage, and they don't really play with this anymore now that the road trip's over. So it goes in the trash. There was like a tic-tac-toe magnetic board game that there's missing pieces to, in the trash, directly in the trash, because I don't even have the bandwidth to manage that. I also have a bag. This is kind of my time will tell bag. Mainly, I want to donate everything in this, but I'm gonna stick it in the downstairs closet for a little while because it has some toys that the girls may play with occasionally. And the goal is to leave it down there for maybe, I don't know, a couple weeks. I'll set a deadline on myself. And then if they have not asked for anything in this bag, which I 100% believe they won't, because here's the thing, when you take stuff away from kids, most of the time, out of sight, out of mind, they forget and they move on to the favorites in their environment. And we get so afraid that we're gonna take away our kids' favorite toy. And you know, they may have something in here that they love, and that's why it's so nice to have a time will tell bin, because if in the next few weeks they do ask for anything in here, I still have it, I haven't donated it, I can pull it out. But if in, let's give it 3 weeks, a month, they have not asked for anything in this bag and they have never requested it, then I know it was okay to remove it from our inventory. So this one's already getting full. I may have to make a second one. Once you've popped as much things as you can into your time will tell bag and you've gotten that out of the room, I kind of have my husband sneak that away. And we just wait and see if the kids will ever get back into it or want anything from it. Then I also have some things that I see we need to donate right now, or they're good to go. This night I didn't find a lot of that because I do that regularly. So we were okay on that part. And then the last step is grouping like with like. So I just have the girls go through and we just kind of started making piles within my pile. Can you tell I love piles? We had Barbie dolls in one pile, their clothes in another, baby dolls in another. And again, it just lets you see when I had my girls pile up all their Barbies in one pile, I saw that we had 20 different Barbie dolls. And here I was at Christmas thinking, I should buy them some more Barbie dolls. They love those right now. They're playing with those. But when I saw that massive inventory piling up, my brain, it finally registers they have too many. And it also lets me know we could buy more. My daughter has a birthday coming up. But when we take one in or add one in, we need to take one out or remove so that they can manage that level of inventory. And so this helps us get to a space that is doable, keeps us sane, and also doesn't leave us like yelling at our kids or upset or frustrated with our kids because they keep making messes. And I went up there this morning after we did all this last night, and I got to peek in their room, and guess what? It was pretty much bare at this point, and my daughter was playing, and she was playing creatively. She had pulled out just the small bits of her Barbies and stuff to play with there, and she was having a blast. And so I immediately felt validated that I had removed that huge time will tell bag, because I'm thinking they did not miss a single of the things that I removed. And isn't that our biggest fear, mamas? We think, oh, they're gonna hate me forever because I took that one thing out of their room. Honestly, they're probably not gonna remember it. And if they do, you have a few weeks where you have the bag and you can go get it. So it's fine, it's fine. So I'm just here today to encourage you to attempt to declutter your spaces using these techniques. I like to pile everything together that I can. I like to pull out the things that don't belong so that I'm truly looking at one type of inventory at a time, like clothes or toys. And then from there, we make our decisions about what we keep, what we get rid of, what we put in a time will tell, and then we group like with like. It's kind of like subcategories. And then we find a little bit more peace in our spaces. So with any luck, we should have a really clean space today, and I hope you were able to get a little cleaning done while I talked to you. Thank you for letting me chat with you, friend. I so appreciate you stopping by, and I hope something that I said was helpful to you. Let me know, do you do any of these decluttering techniques? Is it sound new to you? I'm happy to do more of these videos. I declutter all the time in our home. But next time I'll be back with some new content, so stay tuned into our channel. Bye, friends.